Yes, now our meeting is getting recorded, so I will post this in online as well. So all you need is you need to use your folder or your repo to clone. That's where you can make the change because you don't have access. It's not
Okay.
allowing me to unmute for your information. So let's see with Nagarjuna. So who's not able to unmute themselves? Shankar. So Shankar, let me just see that later. Okay, Shankar. Uh, make an attendee. Change. Shankar, I've changed your role to attendee. Just check it now. Okay, now all you need is open. But what you can do, use your credentials. See here, you
Okay.
need to give your username and password. Just go ahead and do that. In the user, you need to give a complete email.
Yeah.
This is saying repository address is not valid. So let's go ahead and see what is the correct address. So where do we have the repo? So do we have it here? Yeah, clone. Okay, so if you see there are two different things, HTTPS and SSH. Okay, so
Mm.
if you are using SSH, then there will be a different password protected SSH key. So all you need is
Yes.
you need to use HTTPS to get it correctly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now here
Mm.
let's go ahead and paste. So now there is no error. See,
Yeah.
open. Okay, no UiPath project found. This is because it started cloning and it completed the clone. If you see here, UiPath, I think there should be something with GitHub. This is where you will have your items.
Projects.
So where do we have this? Let's just go back and see. Okay,
UiPath RPA developer.
yes. So from all the items are cloned. Okay, now you need
Mm.
to have your own folder here.
Okay.
Meyer, and here we can create our project folders. So the cloning is completed. Okay, now
Mm.
what you can do is where do we have this particular documents, downloads, documents, where do we have the GitHub,
UiPath.
UiPath, GitHub, where is GitHub folder? No, see
I
git,
think it's outside. Outside.
no, it's here, RPA developer by 30 days. This is
Okay.
where we have. So you can delete, ideally you can delete all these folders, the top ones that you don't require. You can delete
Mm.
everything because these are not the git folders.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's because this is already available in this particular item.
Basically, Vajrang, we need to clone the URL, right? The main RPA developer in 30 days, that URL we have to clone it.
Yes,
And once it is cloned in our desktop,
yes,
so we need to create a new folder with our name.
correct.
And then we need to again pull or push it, right? Or,
So let's see. Here RP developer might have already created it, right? What we can do is let's go and let's start a project. And when we're starting a project, we will give that folder. So if you see here, we will go into RP developer Meyer and select this folder, and we will say blank process instead of blank process, testing uh, git. Okay, now when we are testing this git, create. See, now a folder will be created inside Meyer folder. Okay, this folder, uh, if you go back into the git and if you refresh, you will not be able to see this until you make some commits. There is no change, right? All you need to do is go back, right click and commit. So you are committing it into local, and when you push,
Okay.
you will push it into your repo.
Okay.
Deleting outside project folders, I think this is what we already have. Commit and push. Okay, here we need to give password and token. Give your email ID and password. Hmm. Okay, now this is committed. If you go back and see in git, if you just refresh, see Meyer testing git, right?
Yes.
Okay, now how to upstream this? So when you are contributing, see this branch is one commit ahead of Vajrang. So you're opening a pull request to make your changes reflect in my changes or my main. See, this is the base repository and your head repository. Okay, you can make as many
Okay.
pull requests as you want, and you can create
Mm.
a pull request.
Mm.
Here instead of this you can say deleting outside folders, uh, and you can just write my folder creation.
Maya MAYA.
Okay, and then you can go ahead and create a pull request. See, allow edits by maintenance. I am the maintainer here because I am maintaining the main repo.
Okay.
Create a pull request. Now when you create a pull request, this is an open state. Now I will share my screen to help you what is something that I see when you make this particular request.
Okay.
So when you make that pull request, I will see that pull request in my request. See here, I have two folders: accept my changes, that is by Rakesh, and Meyer folder creation by Maya Jain. Okay, so all I can do is I can see what are the changes that he made. Created calculator folder. So these are the commits that he made. See the commits, and I can also see this branch has conflicts that must be resolved. So conflicting with this particular PDD files.
Okay.
Okay, so what I can do is I can delete, either make some changes and delete, or I can ask Rakesh, your files are are having conflicts. So when a conflict will occur is when I change Rakesh items and Rakesh also change his PDD.
Okay.
Okay, uh, let's check and close. Okay, I will close this with the comment, but when I close it with this comment, his changes will not be reflected. So let's close this with the comment. So his changes are not updated to my repo.
Okay.
Okay, but the request is closed. Now let's go with Meyer. So Meyer, what I will do, uh, see, this is your first run, right? This branch has no conflicts. So when we don't make a single file change by multiple people, it will not have any conflicts. All I can do is approve your commits. Okay, merge pull request.
Okay.
I am confirming the merge. So this is what I'll do. Comment. So merged. So when I go back to my pull request, your pull request is accepted, and it will be available in my code,
Hmm.
Vajrang and Meyer.
Okay.
Now there is a different pull request by Dhruvesh. So when you are making a pull request, it just meant that whatever changes you make, that should be reflected in my project.
Hmm. Okay.
So his Dhruvesh also don't have any issues. So making commits, approving commits, or I can just write it over here. Approve folder creation. So these particular comments are important to make sure that we understand it in future.
Okay.
Okay, Mayer, can you please go on mute? I want others to go ahead and ask
Yeah,
questions.
sure.
Hi, Varshan.
Yep, tell
Can
me.
I ask you something?
Yep, tell me.
Sudha here.
Yeah, Sudha.
Yeah. What are the conflicts here? Some request has a conflict. Some of them has a no conflict.
Okay, so
What
what
is?
happened is the folder or the file PDD docs that's changed. I changed in Rakesh folder, and Rakesh also changed in his folder in his repo.
Okay.
Okay, now when two changes are occurring in the same file at the same place, then we need to manually rectify what is the issue.
Okay.
Okay, so that see, when we are working on a team, multiple people can work on a single code. So this is what happening now as well. But
Mm-hmm.
when we are creating new files, it's fine.
Okay.
But when the file is being updated by multiple people, then we will have conflicts
Conflicts. Okay.
that we need to
Yeah.
resolve.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
For now, I didn't approve Rakesh much, but I have approved others. That's the reason I have approved them.
Arjun, one quick question, Arjun.
Yeah, tell me.
Roy here. How do I was able to merge and all, but only the thing I'm left out with, right? How to download that code locally?
So when you merge it, as I have said, there is a pull request or upstream request that's shown in Meyer code, right?
Yes.
Okay, you need to click on that pull upstream or pull from upstream. Then everything will be reflected in your local or in your.
No, 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 not in my repository. I want to download the repository into my local machine.
Correct. You can just clone it. Click on HTTPS and clone. See, I have already shown this in this current video. So let me update it in YouTube. Just go ahead and check again.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
No problem.
So I think we are almost 30 minutes in our meeting. Completed 30 minutes of our meeting. So I will try to join the meeting a bit early daily so that you can ask your questions. Just make sure you complete all the queries before the meeting. Okay, so let's go ahead and see the issues, or what I'll do is, Preeti, you have some issues, right, with your code.
Hmm.
So what I will do, I will use your code.
Okay.
Okay, did you commit your code?
No.
Can you please commit it?
Yeah, let me.
Okay, meanwhile, let's also see what till where we have completed. So how many of you have completed, and how many of you are able to work with this particular calculator file or calculator code?
Bajrang, I have worked on it, but I think you have not approved my uh, that repository. So
Old
maybe
request.
it will reflect. Yeah.
Okay, what you can do is you can delete that docs, or you can just rectify the let's talk together and rectify the error.
Okay.
Okay, so I will just open week 1 calculator RE framework. So the issue that you might be facing is with the click activities with different buttons. That's the only thing I am seeing. See, we are going to cover one important concept called dynamic selectors in this class. Just go ahead and listen properly. So when we are saying dynamic selector, the selector will itself will be changing depending upon the input that we provide. Okay, I open calculator, perform calculations. I'm not doing basic recording. So let's see. So let's go into the process. So process is where I combine everything. In this we have transaction item and queue items, but what I can do, I can open the application and I can perform calculations. I will just drag and drop so that I make a invoke. Okay, what is the other way that I can invoke this particular file? There is an option called invoke uh, process or invoke workflow file. So when you invoke workflow file, you need to manually do everything, like you need to add this path and you need to import the arguments. Other than that, I can just drag and drop. Okay, and by the way, I am seeing that you are making good progress with the discussions, and there are 3 members who are actively participating. Remaining members, just try to see their answers and try to give your own answers. It's fine even if you go with the wrong answer. So if you see in the discussions, these are the things uh, that I have asked, and we have 4 answers for these 3 answers. This is where you can see, and if you see in this particular thing, it's in green because I asked how many states do we have in RE framework, and Meyer says 4. But see, Ullas says it in detail way. There are 4 states: initialization, get, transaction. So this gives me complete answer. That's the reason I marked it as answer. Okay, I will also mark others also as answers, but you can also, for example, if you like some other answer, for example, this is what Uma I have answered and this is what Rakesh have answered. If you like any of the answer, you can just go ahead and click on this up arrow so that you can upvote this particular item. Okay, this is called upvoting. You can directly upvote, and if you click it again, it will go without an upvote. But yes, you can also upvote anything. వద్దు, సాటర్డే సండే బెటర్. ఓకే, ఎక్కువ ఉందా? జస్ట్ ఎ సెకండ్ గైస్, ఐఎమ్ ఆన్ మ్యూట్. జస్ట్ ఎ సెకండ్, తర్వాత మాట్లాడదాం. ఇంకో హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ ఉంది, అయిపోద్ది. ఇక పడుకో. Yep. So I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back and see.
No, it's not come. I did not come yet. I'm trying, but it is not working. I don't know what is the mistake that I'm doing.
Okay, let's see it later. So see, in this process, as you understand now, that run file will run only this file, debug file will debug step by step, and run will start from the main, whatever main we have, that from there. And you can also make a different file as main. You just need to right click and set as main. So when you click set as main, then you can, if you even if you run, only this process will be executed, because the process main file is changed now. Okay, it opened this 8 plus 9 equal to, so whatever the value that we have, we are getting it here. Now if you see here, there are no arguments. How many of you know about arguments? There is one more important question, an interesting question that we can ask. Args versus variables. So let's go ahead and answer this as well. What are arguments?
Arguments that we use globally, and variables that we use in local.
It's something correct and some part it's wrong. Let's check with others as well.
Arguments are used to pass the data between two workflows,
Exactly, great.
and variables are used to pass between two activities
Great. So
or within the same workflow.
yes, that's great. I think Meyer have answered it, right? Who answered it?
Sujata.
Yeah, Sujata. So tell your name so that I need not go back and see the name. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Sujata. So whatever you have said is correct. See, if I want to make this as dynamic workflow, see, I have said it clearly, right? Now it is 8. What if I want to add a different value? How can I do that? So I will add multiple arguments. So the difference between variables and arguments, as Sujata said, is variables will be only to this workflow. Okay, see, the result is already available, but if you go ahead and import arguments, you cannot see result because that is a variable and it will be accessed only in that workflow. But if you create an argument, it should be accessible outside the workflow. Like I can send argument, and there is one more important question that we can ask. Okay, see, every question that I write here is a interview question, either an interview question or the choose the correct answer that you will get while you are taking the test. Okay, about arguments, uh, types of arguments. Okay, difference between out, in out, and the last one is property. Okay, this is one more important question. Definitely you will get at least one question with this particular topic. Okay, check with that. So argument is we will send the in arguments, or we will send in direction. For example, there is a data available here and I want to send it to a different workflow, so that I can do it in this particular way. So I will give you an example as well. So let's say here we are having a message box, right? So let's take this message box outside and I will paste it here. So there is no result here, but what I will do is I will convert this particular variable, that is result. See, the naming conventions are important to make see if you want to portray yourself as an experienced person, you need to follow few rules. Naming convention, in the naming convention, if it is an out argument, if we are sending this result out of this workflow, then it is out argument, out result, and this is variable string. But what you can do, right click on this and you can convert it to argument, out result, and the direction should be out. When you do it as out argument, it will not allow any default value. It means that there should be some value that is assigned in this workflow, but if it is an in argument, we can send in the value. Okay, so this is first operand, in underscore first number. There is also a in underscore second number. Next in underscore operand. So first number should be an integer because we are working only with integers. Okay, second number should be an integer because we are working again but this one is operand, so this can be a string. Okay, or you can also have this as a string if you want, or a character if you want. If you want to see or know about data types and what are data types and how to work with data types, see, there is a complete playlist that I have created for you guys. Let's go with YouTube once. Okay, go to my playlists. So in this playlist I have updated something called job trainings, UiPath job trainings. I will give away this link with you.
Hello everyone.
Okay, so this particular playlist will have, let me just pause it. Okay, basic concepts of coding with C sharp, what are variables, variables part 2, and the third one, what are data types and how to typecast, and business interview questions. Along with that, we have complete list of items. So there are 13 videos and there is a 10-minute video or 15-minute video, but if you see, this variables concept is bigger concept, chapter 2 part 1 part 2, you need to check with this. Okay, to understand what are variables and other concepts, check with this particular link that I've shared. I will try to add this in the video description as well when I upload, but please remember that you can get it directly from this particular place, UiPath job trainings, in my channel. Okay, so let's go back. A string again is a collection of particular characters, same characters. VB C sharp, both type of variables can be used in the same workflows. No, so when we create a project, when we just see open or create a process, there will be an option for you to select here. Okay, either it can be a C sharp project or a VB project that you can utilize. See here, there is VB, here VB. So if it is VB, you can use only VB code. If it is C sharp, you can use only C sharp code. But assigning the variables is same, and most of the keywords are same. So it doesn't matter, even if you know VB or even if you know C sharp, you can work with both. So here we observed something, right? What did we observe? It's clicking on 8 and it's clicking on plus and 9. Now what I'll do, I will change this edit selector. Okay, now if you see, this is number 8. Okay, so this is a static value. I can remove this, and if you see here, number 8 button. Okay, so if I want to add anything in between, I need to add double brace. Okay, and I need to add something like right click, choose argument, and in choose argument, first number. So here whatever we have in the first number, we will get it. So let's just validate, because this is not validating. So these are the errors that you normally get when you are working with these selectors. This is very important thing, and this is the first thing that you need to know. Okay, this first number, if we know that it's already 8, let's add it 1. So when we go and edit selector, validate, that's coming as first number. So what we can also do is,
We have error in the default.
okay, there is lot of echo. Can you please mute? Just type in your message, please. So I will try to validate. There is no option, so let's go ahead and keep a star. Let's see if star comes. Yes, and what is it clicking? It's clicking on 0. So it's taking the first item, that is 0. But what if I want to add, so let's say that I want to add 1. So validate, and it will highlight 1, I guess. Let's see, this is highlighting 1. If I change it to 2, so this is the way how you need to think logically. Okay, if I change it to 2, what it's having this particular item. So let's go ahead and add plus plus. This is called concatenation. Android automation ID. Let's go back and right click here between num and variable argument first number. Let's see, validate. Though it's not working, let's quickly see. Match the live element. Is someone is saying something?
Yes, yes. We have error in the default value. I think we need to change that
Which one?
type in the first number.
I didn't get you. Can you please
In the first variable, we have in the variable you have given 1, right? In the default value. That for
okay,
that we have error.
that's a nice catch. Thank you. So how to see the selector? There will be target on the right side. You can hit on this target and then you can see. That's a nice catch, Uma, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's great. So since that is a string, I need to have it in double quotes. Now when I validate and when I highlight, this is marking it as 1. Now when I change this 1 to 9, this should update it to 9. Edit selector, highlight 9. Okay, now this became dynamic. And let's also add here, what is the second operand? Let's edit the selector, and here instead of this 9, let's go and right click, choose argument the second number. Okay, and here I will give, what is the second number? Let's give 4. So let's edit selector. Okay, the problem is then with the name, because 9 is a static value that we can delete. Now when we validate and highlight, we will have 4. Any value that you add here, that you can utilize in this particular variables or in this particular selectors. Okay, and here we are getting the value, right? That is out result. What we can do is, in the process, if you click on import arguments, see the first number and second number are already added. If I want to change this again, I need to use single numbers alone, because we will not have 11 as a button. Okay, if you want to do that, there should be a logic that you need to write. But anyhow, let's hit on Control K. Control K is to create a variable. So if you see here in this particular workflow, there is no variable. So all I need is I can create variables. Okay, how many ways can I create variables? That's one more interesting question.
3 ways.
Okay, what are these?
In variable panels, in properties of any activity output section, and in the assign activity in to section, we can create a variable.
How many ways can we create variables? So please go ahead and answer this. Whatever you have said is correct. Okay, let's go back and let's see. Here in this, I can directly press Ctrl K and then add enter. So the result is an object that's created, and let's add dot toString. But if you see here, the result is an object that's available, but I want it as a string. So for that, I just need to go back and I need to add this value here. So I'm sending in 1 and 4, but I'm getting out the result, and I'm printing out the result in this message box. Earlier we have a message box inside perform calculations, but we send that value out, and this is in outside the two workflows, and now this is in the parent workflow. So let's run this with debug file, or I think debug file will just give you the best way. So let's go ahead, close this, let it open. రూపా బెడ్ బగ్స్కి స్ప్రే ఉందన్నావు కదా, తీ తీ నాకు కావాలి. Okay, we had the execution completed. So if you see this particular item, if we are having green, it means that it is executed, and it's taking time to get this value 70. Let's see how much time will it take. But normally, okay, this is one more important question: what is the default timeout for every activity? Can anyone answer that?
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Okay, and how to change that?
Duration.
Time in the properties.
Exactly. So for every activity there will be a timeout that's mentioned.
Timeout. Yeah.
So here for 30 seconds it will be in milliseconds. So I will just add 3 seconds.
3000.
Yes, that is 3000. Okay. So this is one more important question for everyone. So in future, if you want to just go ahead and check all the questions, this is the best place that you can go. Default timeout. How can you update timeout? Okay, next, what is the measurement for timeout? Okay, and if I need to add 10 minutes, then what is the value that I need to update in timeout property? Okay, just try to answer this question as well. Okay, so here I am failing, so let's go ahead and see why are we failing. In the edit selector, the display is 17, so it will select only when the display is 17. Yesterday we discussed about dynamic selectors or wildcards. So we had a question, and the question also have great answers. So here you can see different types of wildcards. Everyone answered it in an excellent way. Uma Devi asterisk replaces 0 or more characters, and I liked Rakesh Tiwari's answer because he also explained with a sample, whether in Delhi, whether in Mumbai, etc. States are changing dynamically, so the weather in will be constant, and Delhi and Mumbai will change. So if we just replace after weather in, if we just add star, then it will select any location, and question mark will replace single character or 0 or single character. Okay, so even if it is if there is no value, that will be replaced. So it's not again the way how we answer should also be checked. It will not replace, it will ignore any character after that, it will ignore only one character. Okay, so just check with the naming or the wordings. So I will just add my answer. It will not replace wild characters, will ignore depending upon the type of wildcard. Okay, I am just answering this question, and then the best answer that I can find is with Rakesh. So let me just mark it as answer. Okay, Rakesh.
Okay, Bajal. Thank you.
Okay, so this answer is solved, this question is solved, and you can see Rakesh having one more point. Fine, so let's validate, and this is done, and let's save it and process. Now if you make any change, just check whether things are coming in properly. Let's run the file. Let's go ahead and close. So this is how we are going to get dynamic values. Okay, so now let's add a bit more complexity to this. If you go into the calculator, perform calculations, this operand or this particular uh, plus symbol, we need to replace it with any other operand. Edit selector, here it is plus button, right? So what are the other standard operands? So to check that, go to UI Explorer again, because UI Explorer is the place where we can get everything. And the answer for the answer to discuss about UI Explorer, how many types to open an UI Explorer. Uma Devi mentioned that there are two ways, by clicking on Explorer button, launched. Okay, I like this answer. If you see, she clearly mentioned that UiPath automation activities, if we install these activities, only then we will be able to see that in the backstage view. So when we say backstage view, this is the backstage view: home, tools, and UI Explorer. Okay, but I guess this might be wrong as well, because when we open when we open UiPath Studio directly, so if I go ahead and let's see that, let's see other answers as well. It can be accessed by clicking UI Explorer button ribbon, this is correct. We can open it by clicking UI Explorer in editor window, this is also correct. Tools section, this is also correct. So Manju, it's a correct answer. Again, we have three options. So what is the best one that I can pick? This is more detailed answer, so let's mark Manju's answer. Okay, just try to see in the interview, if someone asks you, tell me about UiPath Explorer, if you just say that okay, this is the place where you can find a tree, that's your answer, then again he will pull in more questions. But if you give detailed explanation, then that will help you. See, even if you don't open or if you don't open a project, you can still see UI Explorer and you can open it. Okay, Uma, please check from where did you get that answer, and you may need to correct it.
Okay, Vijay.
Okay, and here VB is not VB code, it's my name, so don't check with this VB, it will be your name if you log in. Okay, so I'm just trying to add the complexity over here. So now we have only plus button. Indicate, what I can do is I can try to update uh, multiplication as well. So let's just check how can we add those things. Multiply button we have, divide by button we have, okay, minus we have, plus we have. Okay, now this is something a bit complex, I would say. Any idea on how to get this solved?
Drop down button, like where we can choose.
Okay, but I need to give, I cannot give drop downs when I'm doing unattended automation.
Okay.
Any other answers? Okay, so we have only 5 more minutes or 7 more minutes. Let's see, if we want or everyone is available, we will stretch for 5 more minutes, but if no one is, or if anyone have issue, let's close this. Okay, yes, we have Sudha Rao raising her hand, and Rakesh and Sudha Rao, what is, sorry, Sudha Robot. Yeah, so what are your questions?
No, that was our previous question you have asked earlier.
Yeah, for the previous questions, we raise your hand.
Okay, can you
Please.
please uncheck them? Okay, so thank you. So okay, the question still remains like how can I update, or how can I give it as an argument? Can anyone please?
Take that as a variable input.
Are you telling to take input from the user, Vajra?
Yes.
So get input.
In
Uh,
dialogue.
So here first number, second number we have, right? We also need to have operand, and in this operand I just need to give plus or multiplication or division or plus minus division or multiplication. So all I need is I need to give only these characters, and I need to have the solution done. How can I do that?
It's a radio button.
Okay, don't every time don't think with radio buttons and all. Think in a normal regular perspective or in a normal execution. There will not be a human to check or click on that radio button. For example, if I have a Excel file here, see the complexity of this particular code or the level of this particular flow will be increased as we continue. Okay, so all I'm doing is in the data folder, okay, in the input I will create a file, new Excel file. This is input file, and in this file I will give out multiple values: first, second, operand. This is what I want. I can see the message box for now. Okay, if I give 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7 8, okay, 7 8 9 10 0 1 2, I need to add the operand. So the operand goes like this: plus plus divide 2 into minus. Okay, this is what I have. So I have all the operands given. Now all I need is I need how can I make it dynamic? Like if I give this file, it need to calculate everything and it need to give me the result. How can I do that?
Read that operand column in a
Okay.
variable. Pass that variable in the selector.
Okay, but if you see in the selector, it's
read the
Yeah,
Excel
it
to a
should
data
match the
table.
format.
okay.
Like here it is in words, that it should match.
Okay, user is not interested in giving me with words. He is just willing to give me these operands now.
I have to put
Can we read this file and
Yeah,
then
we can read this file, but how can you manage with this play button, plus button, and all?
No, I will get data from the cell, right, and I will use if condition. If it is passing plus, then I will assign plus button to a variable and pass it to the operand.
Okay, but if you write something like that, how many if conditions should you write?
Yeah, actually I
Wait,
tried switch, but I couldn't do so. I did a if.
Okay.
Bajran,
Yes, tell me please.
can we give an index number?
Sorry.
After reading the data table, can we give the index number in the selectors?
But how can you give the index number? Because every item is with a different index. You cannot see when you are working with index. You need to check only with maximum IDX of 1 or 2, not more than that.
Can we assign data using switch, Arjun?
That's a correct option, but you need to explain more.
Hello, Bajrang.
Yes.
We can assign the operands to the variable using switch case, and using that variables we can assign to the arguments. Is that correct?
That is correct. Let's do that. Okay, so who answered this?
Ulhas.
Thank you, Ullas. So let's add a switch statement here, and in this switch statement let's add in operand. So in this in operand, let's give plus as 1. So if you see here, the operand accepts only integers. Let's give it as string. So this is plus, and the second one is minus, the third one is into, and the fourth one is divided by. But if there is anything else other than this, then throw an exception. Just go and say throw. This is the exception concept that we can cover later, but yes, what I can say is invalid operand. New exception of, in double quotes I can write. Okay, see, when we want to raise a new exception, we need to write something like this: new exception of invalid operand. Okay, so what it will do, other than these four, if we have any other character, it will just throw that okay, you added a invalid operand, so we cannot continue further. Okay, so Ullas mentioned that we need to assign it to a variable, so I will assign a variable, but you need to guide me what to add what. So let's create operand variable, and what should we add in this place?
String value like plus.
Press button.
Okay, so let's go with UI Explorer once again, because that will definitely help us. So if you go ahead and indicate any particular button, see, this is divided by, all I need is copy this and remove this name, because this is which is very static, but divide button I can just give the name, because automation ID will not be changed. Okay, so all I'm giving here is divide button. Okay, and in the same way, let's go ahead and assign others as well. Here we can write it as minus button. We'll check them later. Maybe I can just check multiply button. Okay, and the last one is divide button. Double click. Okay, please mute. Thank you. Okay, so here we have all the values assigned to one operand. So whenever there is an in operand, that will be updated, and we will have one operand. And if you go ahead and see in this particular value, plus instead of plus, all you can give is edit selector. Instead of plus button, what can we give?
Variable.
Operand value.
Variable and operand.
Operand.
Okay, we can remove this plus and all. Okay, because these are static values that's available only for that particular item. This is not valid, but what if we add slash? I think we can add a plus button. Even this will not be valid, because the switch need to be executed. So let's go ahead and let's see. If I add just plus, all I can do is go to argument. I will add plus here. So when I add plus, let's kind of complete within next 2 minutes. When I add plus, see, there is an important concept that will be covered with locals. I will add a breakpoint here, step into, Okay, see on the left side whatever you see is locals window. So here we have first number as 9, second number as 4, and the operand is plus. Can we change this on the fly? If that is string, yes, you can change. Let me just try to update it if possible, but if it is not possible, let's see. Okay, I'm not able to change it. Let's continue. Switch statement. Okay, see here I can edit it, I guess. Yes, I can change it to divided by. Okay, so now I change the operand dynamically on the fly. So when I hit on operand, see the operand's value is null. If I step into, it's assigning divide button now. Okay, so we covered two concepts here about locals, and we can also change them dynamically if it is a string. Okay, step into, step into, step into. Let's continue. So the value got extracted, but how can we update them, or how can we see them? So you need to run it from this result pane, and if you import argument again, whenever there is a change with arguments, you can import them. Okay, 1 and 4, let's go ahead and add 8. 1 plus 8 plus 4. Okay, 8 plus 4, and we will see the result. The result will be 12, and run this file.
Assume for plus operand you give divided by.
No, it will not be.
No, actually you assign divide button for plus.
Correct.
In switch.
In switch, did I assign divided by for plus?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. If I did it wrong, then even then it should click. Let's see. I think I closed the item. That's the reason it's not picking up on file. Okay. But anyhow, we have the result, right? Yes, I can make the change now if you insist. Let's go ahead and see plus divide button. Let's go with plus button, because plus. So if we add this particular switch case, then the best thing that happened is we need not check, or we need not add multiple click activities. Like for every button we need not add 4 click activities, and we need not check if condition. Everything is eliminated now, right? So this is the way how we can do that. Now one work that I would like to give you all is, I will commit this code. You can pull the changes. All I want from you is, tomorrow we are going to read this file, and we are going to send this uh, completely in RE framework, but you use this process, keep a read range activity, loop it here, okay, and send the in arguments with the row values. So this is the task that you can do. So just complete it by tomorrow. Am I clear?
Can you repeat it again?
There is a input file, right, in the data. Save input file. Read this input file. Whatever values that we have, plus and minus, in add those values and show it in the message box. If there is the first row, take that first row, show it in the message box, loop it. Second row, show the result in message box and loop it. That's what I want.
Okay.
So just you want to read that value, that's it, right? And show it in message box.
Yes, read this, perform calculation using calculator, and show the result in message box.
Okay.
Vajrang, loop it in the sense it should follow plus minus multiplication one by one, right?
Yes, I guess. Okay, the authentication is failed. I think I can use GitHub desktop. So how many of you are able to install GitHub and work with GitHub?
I'm not able to work with GitHub, Vajrang.
Okay, any others?
I just had no Niranjan. I am facing some issue. I will try again today. Yeah, let's see.
Okay, I have updated this one and merged with the main branch. So let's see, pull request. So I have the changes now available in my code. So all you need to do is git upstream, pull upstream, and then you will find the changes. Okay, here we have everyone Vajrang's file, and if you see in the data, you will have input folder. In that input folder, XLSX. Okay, everything is available now. Done. There is no conflict. Approving this commit. Done. So that's it from for today's class. Let me stop this recording and let's check with the answers or queries. I hope this got recorded.
Ajang, I got stuck at one place, right? I want to convert the input, right, to character array. I couldn't find it over the internet.
What character?
Like they if the user if the user inputs means for the calculator function itself, if a user inputs multiple values,